game.
Hello and welcome back to Nerdtopia, the second episode of our podcast. And last time we reviewed our top 5 Batman villains. It was very fun. I had to go murder Grayson after
And
he
this time,
insulted Scarecrow. So now this is a clone of Grayson. I was resurrected from the dead. Anyways, this time we are going to be doing our
favorite game villains from most video games.
Indeed, and I will be playing Sonic Mania for fun as we discuss. What are you going to be playing, Grayson?
I am going to be playing Cab's Totally Accurate Battle Simulator. And there is some rules to this one, though. No games in the same series.
Yeah, I couldn't make
And
the
that's
whole
technically
list like Mario villains and or just this whole list Batman Arkham villains. It has to have.
You will done.
I wish I would. If I could, this entire list would be like just Mario and Batman. But
Okay. Since Brett started last time, this time I'm going to start. I would put this higher on the list, but I started writing it down. I'm too lazy to start the list over again. So, number 5 spot is zombies.
is zombies?
Yeah, from like any video game, because just killing hordes of zombies is just so satisfying. I love zombie games and zombie movies because, well, I don't really know. Blowing brains out of stupid things is fun.
When I think of zombies, I think of State of Decay. Probably my favorite zombie game.
Oh yeah, that. Yeah.
Great game.
When I think of zombies, well, there's like different types of zombies. If you want a fast zombie game, where they're like kind of intelligent things like that, you should probably get, I think it's World War Z after the movie, where they can climb, run, and then if you just want a silly zombie game, you should probably get
Minecraft?
I forget the name. And let's just skip that. But yeah, it's zombies because it's just fun to kill them.
It is very fun to kill zombies. My number 5 is from a game, Grayson, you haven't actually played, but you've of course heard me talk about it, as I spent $100 on the game because it likes to steal your money a lot. Number 5 is Chaos from the Skylanders series. So, the little bald dude with the weird gremlin sidekick. Chaos is really weird looking, and he has a great voice actor. And he's not a very interesting character. He doesn't really have development. There's nothing singular to your character. He is just a weird, funny-looking dude who likes to take over the Skylanders land. And sometimes that's all you need. Sometimes you don't need these earth-shattering villains. Sometimes you just need a funny guy who can serve as the villain, like the game's threat, but also its comedy relief. So my number 5 is Chaos, the bald guy from Skylanders.
I think Chaos is a good choice because I haven't played the Skylander game, so tell me if I'm wrong, but I feel like he's like a good, because Skylanders is, in my opinion, I feel like kids would play it more.
It is very kid-oriented.
Targeted towards.
It is very kid-oriented.
Like that would be really good, kid villain.
Mm-hmm. And his just banter with his mother is really funny, and how she's basically a ultra Karen but with magic, and how she's always looking down upon her son.
Karen magic.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's a thing. Oh my gosh! Imagine magical evil Karens in real life.
That'd be very scary.
Indeed.
Okay. My number 4 is it is the law.
The law?
Yeah, you heard that right. Because games like GTA, where the law is the enemy. You just break it and then the cops come after you. Things like that, and why do I keep forgetting the names now? Red Dead Redemption 2. you do something illegal, the cops will come after you. You have a wanted level. So basically, the cops, the law, is your enemy. And a lot of games, actually.
That's an interesting choice. Yeah, the law. I don't know how to respond to that. The law in game. I guess the only games I've played with the law as the villain is GTA, which I seldom play anymore, but I used to play quite a bit of. And then Red Dead Redemption I played a little bit of, and I thought it was pretty good, but I preferred GTA aesthetic-wise and gameplay-wise. But the law is a pretty fun foe to face. It is fun to just gun people down and cops to chase you for it. It's fun to be a criminal. It is. Don't deny it. It's fun. But I would not choose that as my lifestyle. If I...
Yeah, because, like, in real life, like GTA, you can live through multiple gun holes, but real life, I think I can take 2 when I'm a grown up at least.
Ow, my dog.
Otherwise, I'll just die.
My dog is poking his claws into my shoulder. Ow. Calm down, sweetie.
I mean like 2 shots for immediate death. 1 shot, I'll just lie there bleeding out.
So, my number 4 is Dr. Eggman from the Sonic the Hedgehog series.
I knew that was going to
Yeah, you kind of knew. In a list of video game villains, and me being a platformer addict that I am, and a Sonic fan, Dr. Eggman was kind of expected.
I mean, you're playing Sonic right now.
I'm literally playing Sonic Mania. But yeah, Dr. Eggman's just a great villain. I mean, like, what can you say that hasn't been said so many times? Dr. Eggman is one of the most funny villains in video game history. He is great design-wise. Even in the movie, Jim Carrey portrayed him excellently. His current voice actor in the games portrays him excellently. And he can make, even in games with rather dull stories like Sonic Colors and Generations, he can make any scene interesting. And his sidekicks, Orbot and Cubot, are always great. My favorite versions of him are probably in Sonic Adventure and the Sonic X cartoon show. But I also do like the original Sonic show from the, 80s, I think, where he had this, fat little, chicken. There was, a chicken and, a weird thing I think he made out of, a bus stop. I don't know. Oh, and his monkey sidekick or whatever. The monkey that was, obsessed with him, who wanted to, do something important. But yeah. But yeah, Dr. Eggman was a given for me, being as big of a Sonic fan as I am, and just being a fan of platformers and more cartoon-style villains. So, who is your number 4, Grayson?
Oh, well, first off, I'm going to talk a little bit about Dr. Eggman.
Oh, yes.
I don't know much about him. I don't play a lot of Sonic at all. But one thing I have to say about Dr. Eggman is the forehead.
The forehead is beautiful. He has a beautiful forehead.
He kind of looks like his body kind of looks like an egg, but then it's like the rest of him. He was good in the Sonic movie. Watch the Sonic movie.
Watch the Sonic movie. It's great.
Okay.
Great.
Wait, were we on 3?
Yes, you're number 3.
Okay. My number 3 is the elites from Halo. You probably don't... Have you played Halo before?
I have played Halo. Not much, though. I've played, a couple levels of the campaign, and I played a little bit in multiplayer with you.
Yeah, I don't play much Halo anymore because I played it so much that I kind of feel like I just sucked up all the fun from it, which is bad because I like the game. It's been, a game with my childhood for... Well, I'm still a child, but, most of my life, that was one of the big games. The elites are good because, well, I kind of feel nostalgia for them, but they are good good characters because you're fighting against them, but they're way more advanced. But luckily, you have Master Chief on your side, who's just taking all of them down. Same with the Spartans. I don't really know. I just picked them because I picked them.
Yeah. The elites look cool. That's all I can say. I don't know much about them. I don't know much about Halo in general. But I think the elites look cool. I think Halo is a good game. Not my type of game. I prefer, like, more, like, I don't like shooters. I like shooters, but not that much. Shooters aren't my thing. I prefer, like, hand-to-hand combat games, platformers, and, like, and also I prefer a more cartoony aesthetic. But that is not always the case, because my number 3 is from a game that is not cartoony. It's from a game that is dark, gritty, and serious. And you're probably surprised that this isn't number 1, but my number 3 is Scarecrow from the Arkham video game series. Okay. Grayson already had him on his list in the top 5 villains, and I already had Scarecrow as my number 1 Batman villain, so I'll keep this brief. But you all know I love Scarecrow. Scarecrow's my boy. Scarecrow's the best. Scarecrow is my cult leader. I worship...
I just realized we've done 2 episodes about villains. Let's change that around.
Yeah, I pray to him every day. I'm kidding. But just Scarecrow's great in the Arkham games. His boss battles are some of the funnest in Arkham Asylum. His story sections are some of the funnest in Arkham Knight. He's one of the most interesting characters in the game series. And in my opinion, he's the best in the game series. Even though Joker's probably the best because they're pretty much his games, I think that I didn't want to include him. Because for one, it'd be too obvious, and 2, my own personal Joker fatigue and how tired I am of him as a character. So, do you like to comment on Scarecrow, or do you want to go to your next number?
Scarecrow.
Scarecrow.
So, we already talked pretty much about Scarecrow. You didn't watch the first episode, go watch that. But, Scarecrow, well, we don't really have much to say about him though.
Scarecrow's great.
His little sections on Arkham, my opinion on those they were fine. They were kind of like a mix-up and like kind of breather from everything else in the game because it was kind of pushing a lot.
But yeah, Scarecrow in Arkham Asylum gives a nice breather from all of the action with Joker and stuff. He's and I like how he's not doing... I like how the Arkham games didn't make him seem like a patsy to Joker. I like how, even in Arkham Asylum, when he wasn't the main villain, he was off doing his own thing. Like, he didn't care about what Joker was doing. He was trying to gas the city. And in Arkham Knight, they really amplified him by making him, of course, with Joker, because they're Joker addicts, but with Joker, made him one of the 2 main villains of the game. So, Scarecrow in the Arkham games is great. If you disagree, I disown you as a friend. Let's continue. What is your next number?
My next one, I don't actually have to check this on the list, because I remembered. The Separatists from the Clone Wars.
Interesting. Are you gonna speak? Hello? Okay, I'll speak while he's probably dead. But Separatists, Clone Wars. I have no idea what he's talking about. I like Star Wars, kind of. I'm getting tired of Star Wars.
My controller just ran out of battery.
Your controller.
Okay, let me continue. The Separatists from Clone Wars are just... Well, like, this... It's not just the robots that are the Separatists from Clone Wars. It's also the Sith, things like that.
Okay,
and I played a lot of Battlefront 2 remastered, and the Separatists are good villains. I mean, I might just be talking from my Clone Wars gut because I love it. Because it's so good. Like, the clones, their first phase looks good, then their second phase, well, their second phase looks fine. I like the first phase look, but I know the second phase is a lot more comfortable. But anyway, the Separatists are really good villains with Count Dooku, and then there's the Order 66 that they did, and then the clones turned on the Jedis. There's good twists, things like that. And then in Battlefront 2, Battlefront 2 is more of a multiplayer game, and it's just really fun playing as the Separatists or the Galactic Republic, because, like, it feels so real when you fight, like you're actually there.
Yeah, okay. So who was my number 2? I forgot. Oh yeah, my number 2 is from a game you have definitely heard me talk about that you haven't played yourself. From Ni no Kuni, Wrath of the White Witch, my number 2 is The White Witch. So, Ni no Kuni is a rather underrated game. It's not that popular. It definitely has its fans. But I highly recommend playing it. It is one of my favorite games of all time, and I think it has one of the best stories in any game of all time. The story is so inventive. And I think there have been 2 games, a couple spin-off games, and a movie. And they're all great. Well, I haven't played the second one or any of the spin-offs, but I know the movie and the first one are great. But my favorite part of the first game is Cassiopeia, the White Witch. My favorite character from the games. So her thing was that she was like this queen lady, and her father like died and she became the queen, and she saw that her kingdom was becoming crap, so she wanted to use this, so like the council of the kingdom manipulated her into using this spell to like, using the spell to like destroy the entire kingdom, because she thought it would like save the entire kingdom. So then she sits in like her castles after destroying the entire kingdom and waits for 300 years, just sitting there contemplating what she's done. Then a future version of her comes back from the like past, or at the past version of her as a child, comes back to like taunt her, and she turns insane and becomes the White Witch, and like she like the council like reforms from her memory. She like goes insane, and spoilers, and like the council aren't actually real anymore. She just like makes them up with her mind, and like she just goes crazy and wants to destroy the entire world and rebuild it from scratch, and wants to make it perfect because of how imperfect our world is and how much Earth sucks. Well, it's not Earth, it's the world's called Ni no Kuni, but Ni no Kuni, like Earth, is not perfect. But yeah, that was my number 2.
I don't know much about Ni no Kuni at all, but the White Witch really has a story. You explained that, and I was listening, and I was like, geez, that's a lot.
Ni no Kuni is a very story-filled game. There's so much lore to be had there. It's a great game, though. It's a great game. So,
I can barely comment on her game. I haven't really seen anything about it. My number 1, though, is here because it's so fun to beat them up. Sounds bad. Torture them and shoot them in the face. It's the Nazis and the Germans from World War I. They have been enemies in many, many, many games, and they're such a threat to everyone. They're terrible. Well, I mean, most of them were forced into it, but like they're terrible people that just want to feel like kill and torture. So you have to stop them, and it's really hard to stop them because they have a very powerful empire going. And they have allies like Japan and Austria-Hungary.
So I've never played World War I, but I do gotta say the Germans sound really fun to beat up, or the Nazis sound really fun to beat up. Nazis are bad. Don't be a Nazi.
Yeah.
But they are pretty interesting villains, and they're good villains, as everyone knows who Nazis are. So for like, you could make Nazis the main villain of any story, and it makes sense.
Exactly. And there's not like everyone everyone either knows about the lore or you could make up some like side thing about it, because a lot of people know what happened, why they're so bad, things like that. So it's just like, if you're gonna make a game about Nazis, I say make up a little side story like other games do.
All you need to know
Or
about
like,
Nazis is that they're bad, and they're a bad organization you need to take down, and you can fill in. They're great for video games. They are great for and movies also. They're just great figureheads for villains that you can you can make like. Nazis are just the most basic villain, but they're also the most effective villain. Like, because you know who Nazis are. They're like the Sith. You know who they are. They're a bad organization. Take them down. I mean, they were main villain in a Captain America movie, for crying out loud. So.
Oh, and the. Oh, I forgot what I was just to say. Oh, yeah. They are just so fun to kill.
Yeah, you already said that.
Because of what they've done. I know,
yeah.
but like, just so fun taking them down.
It is fun.
I forgot what I was gonna say, because I was gonna say something.
Alright, may I say my number one?
Sure.
Yes, you can see who my number one is from a mile away. He's the king of, video game villains. He was one of the first video game villains. My number one is, of course, Bowser. Bowser is one of the most, again, like Nazis, he's a simple yet effective villain. You know who he is, you know what he wants. He wants to kidnap the Forkin princess. And you gotta
Wait, just a
stop
second.
him.
Before you start going into this, I remembered what I was gonna say.
Okay.
The Nazis are really effective because of their strategies, the things they use, their weapons. Like, Blitzkrieg was just going straight in, nothing else. And that was really effective because you wouldn't expect them to do that. Like, it's a stupid idea to just run in, but they did, and it surprised the enemy, and then so they could just kill them all.
Okay, but back to Bowser. Bowser is kind of like a Nazi. Bowser is an evil dinosaur Nazi, and he's a great character. Honestly, he's not. Mario games are not that complex, but you can tell what he's after. He wants to do it for his family. You know that from the Mario RPGs, where they give him a little bit more development. You know that from the original Yoshi games, where you see him as a child being parented by Kamek without his parents, and where he's alone, and as you can see in Mario Sunshine, he does everything for his family. But yeah, Bowser will always be my favorite video game villain. I honestly wanted to put Scarecrow at number one, because Scarecrow's my favorite villain of all time. I also wanted to put Cassiopeia, the White Witch, at number one, because she's probably a little bit more developed than Bowser. But you know what? Okay, Scarecrow I've already put at the number one on another list, and Cassiopeia, while I love her, she's nowhere near as iconic, and she's nowhere near as understandable. It takes the entire game to truly understand her. With Bowser, all you need is that last scene in Mario Sunshine to know what he's about. Kidnap the princess for his family. And that's all you gotta know. Bowser will always be my favorite video game villain. Would you like to comment on that?
Yes, I would. First off, Mario should get a little suspicious that Peach keeps showing up at other guys' castles. But Bowser is a very, very iconic character. I could see it coming from a mile away. Because you love yourself some Mario and platform.
I do. My second favorite video game of all time after Batman Arkham City is Mario 3D World. So yeah, I love Mario. You know that. I've forced you to play so many Mario Minecraft maps I've made. But yeah.
Well,
I guess that's the end of this video. Would you like to
stay in school even though it sucks being online?
Mm-hmm. Wait, first I want to say a couple honorable mentions, and I'm not going to go into detail. I'm just going to say them. The Golden Queen from Skylanders, a great villain. I wanted to put her on, but I was only counting one villain per franchise. The Purple Guy and Baby from the FNAF series. Two great villains, but I liked Chaos a little more and couldn't put them on the list. And then Bowser Jr. and the Koopalings, just because, I wanted to put them on the list at like number 2, but again, I could only put one per franchise. Do you have any honorable mentions?
Not really. This list was kind of hard to make because there's so many video game villains, and some video games have like multiple villains, like Batman Arkham Knight. And it was pretty hard to make it, so I have no honorable mentions.
No honorable mentions, okay. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Come back for episode 3, and I think I have an idea of what we're going to do for the next episode, so stay tuned. Good night, or good morning.